Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is great to see everybody this evening as we welcome Shabbat, as we also mark Refugee Shabbat, and we will hear lots more about that later in the service. Welcome to both of you who are speaking this evening. We are delighted to be able to learn from you in a little while. We are going to begin our service tonight with Mizmor Shir L'Yom HaShabbat, page 640.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות, עלי עצור ועלי נווה, עלי היגיון וכינור, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך רנן, מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מעולם כל מחשבותיך, מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון,
service bulletin says we're continuing with candle lighting and kiddush. There is no oneg tonight, so we will be doing that after the service. I missed that. Sorry about that. This one is not in your book. For the arrival of Shabbat. Well of life, bless my heart with the gifts of Shabbat, the presence of your love in my pulse, your glory in my chest, and your wonder in my breath. Bless my eyes with the gifts of Shabbat, the beauty of the candlesticks, the kiddush cups, and chalot. Bless my lips with the gift of Shabbat, rejoicing in song and prayer, our melodies ancient and new. Bless my ears with the gifts of Shabbat, hymns and praises, nigunim of old, and blessed words of Torah. Bless my soul with the gifts of Shabbat, awe and thanksgiving, calm and surrender, beauty, righteousness, and peace. As we continue welcoming the Sabbath bride with Lecha Dodi, page 138.
לך דודי, לקראת כלה, לקראת כלה, פני שבת, נקבלה, נקבלה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, לקראת כלה, פני שבת, נקבלה, נקבלה. שבת שלום, שבת שלום, שבת שלום. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom mevorach. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, nekabla, nekabla. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, likrat kala, pnei Shabbat, nekabla.
We continue on page 145 and then 144. Entrances to holiness are everywhere. The possibility of ascent is all the time, even at unlikely times and through unlikely places. There is no place on earth without the presence.
יתקדש ויתקדש שמי רבה בעמד יברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון ובחייך בישראל פגלה בגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם לעלמי עמיה יתברך יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרמם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שם מלך קדושה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו אמן. יא יא לה 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 יא יא לה 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 יא יא לה 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 יא יא לה 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 יא יא לה 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 ברכו את אדוני המבורך ברוך אדוני המבורך המבורך לעולם ועד המבורך המבורך לעולם ועד.
Please be seated. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל, עמך אהבת. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו וקומנו, נשיח בחוגך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם בחיינו לאורך ימינו, ולהם נגד יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אמת.
As we turn in a moment to Michamocha, we celebrate our people's escape from slavery in Egypt. Michamocha is a prayer of thanksgiving and relief and joy, of feeling the safety of escaping a land, the only home that our refugee ancestors had themselves known, and embarking on a life that they hoped and knew and prayed would be better and safer and more secure. They knew it would be hard, but for all of our sakes, they took this journey. We think of their quest for a better life, and we think of all of those who long to cross their metaphorical sea to freedom, as we join together in the words of Michamocha.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נור התהילות אוסף אלה, נור התהילות אוסף אלה. מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקי הים, לפני משה ומרים, צל יענו ויאמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. ונאמר, כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ושלום, מעתה ועד עולם. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, והעמידנו שומרנו לחיים. העמידנו שומרנו לחיים.
Blessed are you, Adonai, guardian of Israel, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Baruch atah Adonai, hapores sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המריד עולם. ושמרו בני לעשות את השבת לדורות המריד עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורות המריד עולם. כי ששת ימים, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת Shabbat vayinafsh v'shameru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat לעשות את השבת לדורות המריד עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורות המריד עולם.
As we continue with the Amidah, beginning on page 164, I invite you to please rise.
Na 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 שפתיי תפתח na 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 הופיע גדלתך na 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 שפתיי תפתח, הופיע גדלתך, תפתח, הופיע גדלתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה, אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, צומח נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח לישועה, ונאמנת להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please be seated. Continue on page 173. Disturb us, Adonai, ruffle us from our complacency, make us dissatisfied. Dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Shock us, Adonai. Deny to us the false Shabbat, which gives us the delusions of satisfaction amid a world of war and hatred. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Make us know that the border of the sanctuary is not the border of living, and the walls of your temples are not shelters from the winds of truth, justice, and reality. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Find favor, Adonai, our God, with your people Israel, and accept their prayer and love. May the worship of your people Israel always be acceptable. God, who is near to all who call, turn lovingly to your servants. Pour out your Spirit upon us. Our God and God of our fathers and mothers, on this first day of the new month, be mindful of us and all your people Israel, for good, for love, for compassion, life, and peace.
זוכרנו אדוני אלוהינו בו לטובה.
Amen. Remember us for well-being.
אמן. ופוקדנו בו לברכה.
Amen. Visit us with blessing.
והושיענו בו לחיים.
Amen. Help us to a fuller life.
אמן.
Let our eyes behold your loving return to Zion. Blessed are you, Adonai, whose presence returns to Zion. Baruch atah Adonai, hamachazir shechinato l'tzion. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulecha na'eh lehodot.
Shalom Rabba Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rabba Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata לכל השלום, שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rava Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
We take a moment for quiet personal prayer and reflection.
Shalom bimrama v'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimrama v'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimrama v'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimrama v'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru
You got to be careful showing up when you're in the choir. You never know when you're going to be on. We are going to continue on page 379 because, as you might have already heard, we are at a new month, and so we'd like to announce it and share a special blessing for it. Page 379. Our God and God of our ancestors, may this new month bring us goodness and blessing. May we have long life, peace, prosperity, a life exalted by love of Torah and reverence for the divine, a life in which the longings of our hearts are fulfilled for good.
Rosh Chodesh Adar יהיה ביום שבת הקודש הזה, הבא עלינו יחו ישראל לטובה. The new month of Adar begins tonight and continues through tomorrow. May it come to all of us and to all of Israel for good.
Amen. We continue now with a blessing for Israel. Eloheinu v'Elohei imotenu v'avotenu, our God and God of our ancestors. We ask your blessing for the state of Israel and for all of Israel's inhabitants. Makor Chayim, source of life, bless and strengthen those who defend the land and ensure their safe and speedy return home. Protect them and guide them. Kadosh Baruch Hu, holy and blessed one, show Israel's leaders your path so they may act with wisdom, courage, and dedication, and that they may be unwavering in their pursuit of peace. Strengthen their hearts and keep them from hardening. Matir Asurim, freer of the captives, return all those who were kidnapped safe and sound to their homes, without the spilling of more innocent blood, without any more souls being tarnished by horrific acts. Baal Harachamim, master of compassion, help us hold the humanity and the heartache of the Jewish people, while also holding the humanity and the dignity of the Palestinian people. As we are made in your image, remind us of your ways. Spread over us your shelter of peace and fulfill the vision of your prophets. They shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not take up sword against nation. They shall never again know war. Together we all say, Amen. As we continue now with Misha Berach, for those who could use some extra healing, page 371. Misha Berach, Avotenu v'imotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah, hu yavarech et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, Bless and heal those who are ill. Gary Allen, Laree Allen, Debbie Alpert, Gordon Ammon, Craig Ansier, Allison Appel, Judith April, Ryan Bartell, Rhoda Barr, Daniel Bloomquist, Colin Campbell, Batsy Bat Yosefa, Beverly Bat Jean, Rachel Bat Chana, Chana Bat Chana Daniel, Chana Leah Bat Chaim Veliba, Chava Bat Hindalea Avraham, Chaya Bat Miriam, Karen Dodson, Stuart Dolnick, Phyllis Dra Barker, Carl Dubin, Ira Bat Rosa, Eliyahu Ben Tuvia Elisheva, Esther Bat Leah, Michael Favreau, Helene Fried, Gershom Ben Avraham Vasara, Alyssa Goldman Crandell, Blaine Goldner, Rachel Necha Basha Bat Esther V. Gruchim, David Halstead, Dick Kimmel, Dan Kaplan, Gloria Krasno, Marsha Lasky, Leah Bat Chana, Leah Bat Chekio Mordechai, Barbara Lieb, Leora Shimra Bat Sasha Leah Ve'ozer Chaim, Ellen Levin, Ron Levin, Littman Pinchas Ben Libo Mendel, Dan Mears, Menachem Mendel Ben Freda Rachel V'Shem Meir, Sarah Miller, Mirit Shira Bat Sasha Leah Ve'ozer Chaim, Naomi Tamar Bat Masha V'Shimon, Andy Newmark, Scott Nicholson, Ann Paddock, Robert Pekel, Pesach Ben Pesha Etta, Hechazan Pesach Ben Reza Lumelech, Keith Pignole, Peg Pignole, Santiago Aaron Portillo, Noach Ben Rachel, Sunny Raymond, Will Sandler, Sasha Leah Bat Bela Rina V'Kisrael, Marcia Schulman, Shoshana Bat Sosia, Gary Shovers, Matthew Skinner, Leon Snap, Landon Strict, Bob Teplin, Adela Torres, Fredlin Veal, Larry Waldman, Kim Weiner, Kelly Witchman, Adrian Wydell, Yaakov Ben Chaya V'Harav Chaim, Yaakov David Ben Freda Lesso Vinyamin, Judy Wolkenstein, Nadine Zuckerman, and Rebecca Zuckerman. And to those names we add Jill Dezak, Jonathan Adamitis, Esther Cohen, Lee Sherman, Cheryl Weisel. Say it one more time. Richard Kalada. Oh, I'm sorry. Jeff Kohler. Mark Hersett. And any additional names on Zoom? Edie?
Harriet Newman.
Thank you. Yeah, it comes over the sound system, which is the only reason I didn't repeat it from the Zoom, because we can hear it and the people on Zoom can hear it already. All right, any others? May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion, for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and of spirit. May God grant wisdom and insight to those who bring healing. May God grant courage and comfort to those whose struggles continue. As together we say, Amen.
מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing and let us say Amen. מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us
I've been watching the baskets come together for the Purim silent auction. There are a lot of items in some of those baskets that, on their own, some might consider a little unexciting. A box of tea, a couple of towels, a favorite movie theater candy. But as these baskets have grown and had more and more things added into them, each one takes shape and becomes something more than the individual items inside of them. A whole basket full of ways to pamper oneself. All the materials needed for an at-home movie night. A whole bunch of fun kitchen gadgets and items, and there are more than that. But I look at this week's Torah portion, Terumah, somewhat similarly. The Israelite people are invited to bring gifts for God, whatever their hearts move them to bring, especially gold, silver, copper, blue, purple, and crimson yarns, so many different kinds, the list keeps going, of luxury materials for creating and decorating the tabernacle. The people will bring all of these things, as so many of us have joked over the years, maybe the only synagogue campaign in history to ever tell the people to stop bringing things because we have enough. But none of these items on their own will make a beautiful mishkan. A pile of crimson yarn is not that impressive on its own, let alone is it a dwelling place for God. Some dolphin skins will hardly command majesty. Even gold on its own is shiny and pretty, but it's hardly a sanctuary. It isn't until all those gifts come together that they make something that no one artisan, no one person, no one family could make on their own. This week, we mark Refugee Shabbat. In a little while, we will hear from our guest speakers about their work to make sure that our society, our country, is prepared to receive gifts from those of all different backgrounds. Like the Mishkan, also like the Purim baskets, each one of us brings something different. We find our greatness when we all share of ourselves, when we realize that the gifts we bring to the table, to society, are no less just because others are sharing also. When we work together to create something beautiful that all of us help to create. So we will get back to our guest speakers in just a couple of minutes. So I am going to keep it very short tonight. We're going to continue in our services now, turning to Aleinu, which is in the middle of page 586. I invite you to please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם בחלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוצא לארץ, ומושב עיקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתנו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת פקנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבת אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל ההר
time not be distant, O God, when all shall turn to you in love, when corruption and evil shall give way to integrity and goodness, when superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, nor idolatry blind the eye. O may all created in your image become one in spirit and one in friendship, forever united in your service. Then shall your realm be established on earth, and the word of your prophet fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever.
ונאמר היה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth. Our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We remember the family, friends, and loved ones of our congregation. When you hear the name of your loved one, we invite you to rise. We remember those loved ones of our congregation who have died recently. Roberta, Bobby, Katz, and also those hostages who have been laid to rest this week. Oded Lifshitz, Shiri Bibas, Ariel Bibas, Kafir Bibas, and Sachi Idan. We remember those who died this week in years past, whose yahrzeits are remembered this Shabbat. Dora G. Albert, William Alpert, Bernice J. Barron, Samuel Benner, Deborah Olga Ann Carter Berkson, Hugh F. Biller, Harry M. Blesser, Helen Bornstein, Harold Brown, Sam Brasner, Shirley Brennis, Morris Chernin, John DeBrushkin, Francis Dorson, Nancy Dubin, Sidney K. Ellis, Abraham Fine, Rosa Feld, Samuel Frank, Martha Fredman, Ruth Fromstein, Basil Gilbert, Abraham S. Gilman, Hannah Goldman, Samuel Harrison Green, Miriam Mimi Habish, Sarah G. Krug, Sanford Kuvan, Ann L. Lerman, Benjamin Levy, Bobby Lichtblau, Louis Manassi, Ida Minkin, Celie Moser, Joyce Orenstein, Sylvia Pillay, Howard Philip Patinkin, Charles W. Pekarsky, Rachel Rashman, Ruth Regina Rebin, Ben H. Rhodes, Jeanette S. Robin, Max J. Sadek, Harry Sachs, Herman Scharf, Michael Schunder, Sarah Schuster, Herschel Cedar, Jack M. Siegel, Tilly R. Sidman, Fanny B. Snader, Sam Stemeshkin, Nina Steindler, Esther Strick, Henry Taxman, Hugo Weiner, Betty E. Whiteson, Samuel Whiteson, Lawrence P. Wolf, Beth Ann Wynn, Esther Zellen, and Edward Zucrow. If there are others you are remembering this Shabbat, please rise and share their names with us. Jim Wilkinson. And on Zoom, do we have any additional names? We also remember those who died in the Shoah, whose yahrzeit dates are unknown, those who died defending our beloved Israel, and those innocent people who have been killed in violence around the world. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. As we join together in the words of Mourner's Kaddish, page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
Be'alma divarach herute v'amlich malchute. B'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
Yehi Shemei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam U'Lamei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal. Shemei dekudsha brichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechamata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen.
Amen.
Yehi Shlama Rabba min Shemaya, V'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, V'imru. Amen.
Amen.
Oseh shalom bimromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, V'imru. Amen.
Amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn, comfort to all who are bereaved, here and everywhere, as we say.
Amen.
Please be seated. We also send our condolences to the family of Bev Figus, who passed away on Wednesday evening. Her funeral will be 11 o'clock on Sunday at Goodman-Bensman Funeral Home. So we certainly share our condolences with that family. We're going to turn now to Mike Grinker to share some announcements with us. And then you guys are up.
First of all, we want to thank a bunch of people, Nicole for a tasty and delightful meal. And Brotherhood. Okay. Brotherhood, yeah. Well, you certainly had a lot to do with it. Yeah. What's that? Yeah, right. Bill Hinden for accompanying, Bob and Will on the tech, Jen and Debbie for greeting tonight, and who am I missing? Maybe that's it. Thanks in advance to the Lukoffs, and welcome to our guests. There's a bunch of things in the service bulletin. There's so much happening in March, I was just going to read the whole thing. But then, as a courtesy to our guests, I thought maybe I would just try to pick out a few highlights. Purim is coming up, so we have a need for volunteers for Wednesday, March 12th, and the following day, Thursday. Of course, set the evening of Thursday, March 13th aside for the carnival and the spiel and the reading of the Megillah. And there'll be lots going on. We want to thank in advance our own Sarah Martin Hennick for writing the program for the spiel. It's going to be great this year. Are there still tickets for Sunday for the Wave? Is that kind of done? Okay, so the Brotherhood is taking us to the Milwaukee Wave game this Sunday at 4 o'clock. If you're interested, grab a Brotherhood member, find out more about it. There's a bunch of things happening in lifelong learning. Please just take your service bulletin home. There's a lot in here. And with that, Rini, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. All right, we're going to have Rini, our social action chair, come up to start us off and introduce our speakers. Thank you.
So this evening, we are really pleased to welcome the executive directors of the Jewish Social Services of Madison, Kai Yael Mishlov Gardner, and Hanan Refugees Relief Group Executive Director Sheila Bodwin. Both of these ladies have had extensive work with refugees, asylees, immigrants for any number of years. I began to work with both of them in about 2021 when we had the Afghan group coming here. Kai helped lead us as a congregation to bring in a family who are doing really well now. And Sheila was the person that I went to originally in the very beginning when we didn't know where these folks were going to go, what they were going to do. We gathered clothing and food and all kinds of things and help them set up their households. Since then, both of them have moved on to become agencies for refugees. So I've got a number of questions here that I'm going to be asking them, and they'll be telling you a little bit more about themselves and what they do. So first of all, I'd like each of you to give a very short history of each of your agencies and your involvement. So Sheila, you want to start?
So we started.
We have mics so that you can be in the middle. And you can each have a mic. That way we won't have to be like leaning in and then. Okay.
Yeah, so thank you. Thank you for having me. We actually started in 2016 during the Syrian crisis. We were resettling Syrians here in Milwaukee, and I jumped in, was really helping a lot of Syrian families that are arriving, and along the way, I met Kai. Our organization at the time was a volunteer-run organization. That was back in 2016. Now we're actually officially a resettlement agency. As of today, we have over 20 staff members and over 150 volunteers throughout the year. We have many different programs that we do in-house, a lot of wraparound programs, youth mentoring, ESL classes. We have employment workshops, driving classes, scholarship program through Hanan. And this is, I started with, actually along the way when I was a volunteer back in 2016, I met Kai, and we were filling up our vans and with housing supplies, and fast forward now, we're both executive directors of resettlement agencies. As of today, we've actually resettled over 506 refugees since we started in 2023. And they come from all parts of the world, from really vulnerable families that are coming in. And I'm going to turn it to Kai to kind of give a little bit of history.
So good Shabbos, everyone. It's so good to be here. I started out volunteering with Sheila. We always say we started in the street because we were literally doing grassroots work. And so 2 years ago, I migrated over to Madison and became the ED of Jewish Social Services of Madison. We are the only agency that's affiliated with HIAS, which is the oldest refugee resettlement agency in the country with over 145-year history. So we are an affiliate of HIAS based in Madison, and refugee resettlement is our largest department. So the agency has JSS rather, has a 85-year history of assisting refugees and immigrants. Started out assisting Jews who were fleeing the Holocaust and pogroms, and then in 2016 became an affiliate of HIAS, resettling people from all over the world, from Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, Central African Republic, Eritrea, Ethiopia, Syria, who am I missing? Burma, Venezuela, Haiti, Honduras, the list goes on. So it's a very, very diverse group of refugees. Oh, Ukrainians, let me not forget that, Ukrainians. And Russians as well. And so it's been a journey and a privilege to do this work, but it's not without its challenges, and especially now.
So can you briefly tell us a little bit about the families that you're serving, their size, how long have they been waiting to come to the U.S.? What specific challenges do they have as they move here?
Yeah, so this past year, we've seen families from all parts of the world. Afghanistan is one of the countries that we are serving, and they are refugees that have worked with the American government. They're our allies, and really challenging times right now. We also serve people from Africa, Congo, and Somalia, and we actually just received a family from Mali. And African countries tend to be on the back end, and some of these families that just came in within not even 60 days ago have been waiting for more than 10 years to come to the U.S. They might have loved ones here already. We have families from Syria. We have families directly resettled from Venezuela, Nicaragua, and we also are working with families from Ukraine as well.
Everything that Sheila said is what we're dealing with, and the average family size, I think, is what you asked also. It varies. Sometimes we have singles coming in, or families, small families, where it's just, two partners. Sometimes we have families of 8, of 10, of 12. In Madison, we tend to try to only resettle families no larger than 6 because of the housing crisis. It's very difficult to find 3 bedrooms that are affordable. It's difficult to find studios that are affordable in Madison. And so most of the refugees we've been working with, they've been waiting for 10 years. And what's sad is that now in the current crisis, folks will not be reunited with their loved ones. We have staff who are also former refugees who are expecting to be reunited. Our staff from Afghanistan are dealing with that. They all fled the Taliban because of their work with the U.S. military, and so many of them have families still back in Afghanistan that they were expecting to receive, and that's not going to happen now. At least we don't know when.
So what type of support have they traditionally been given, and how long are you responsible for helping them once they become part of your agency?
Yeah, so the program that we have is through the State Department, the Reception and Placement Program. It's a 90-day intensive program where we provide core services. We find them homes, we find them jobs, enroll their children in school, enroll them in ESL classes, provide cultural orientation, also provide health screenings. This is a 90-day program. After those 90 days, and we also pay, we get a certain amount allocated for them. Unfortunately, that funding that we receive, we had 119 active open cases in the and on January 24th, there was a work halt order. So we have no funding for these families as of January 24th. We are not able to pay their rent. We're really scrambling and doing a lot of fundraising as well as Kai. We're literally their lifeline for the first 90 days. And how do I tell a single mother that I can't pay her rent? So we're really doing a lot of fundraising right now. I know Kai is the same way as me. There are many resettlement agencies that have shut their doors on families. And me and Kai, we're volunteers. I'm not going to shut the door on a vulnerable family. And so it's definitely challenging times. After the 90 days, we also have a program through the state for up to 5 years. Immigration, in ESL if they need additional assistance with employment. But these are limited services, and so they really don't provide that direct support. I'm going to pass it over to Kai to give a little bit more.
So we receive the same funding, everything that Sheila's described. Keep in mind, these are reimbursement grants. We signed contracts a year ago, 6 months ago, where it's been a breach of contract, basically. We accepted a certain number of refugees with the understanding that we would be reimbursed for their first 90 days. And on January 24th, I received at 11:30 p.m. a cease work order. Who could I call at 11:30? What lawyer could I call about this? And basically it said, you have to invoice everything that you have, that you've spent now by January 24th. I've already received it at 11:30 at night, right? And you will not be reimbursed for anything. Keep in mind, we had just received refugees a week prior. We're responsible for them for 90 days. So we have folks that we're responsible for until April, but we have no money from our reimbursement grants to do that. But just because the grants or the funding has stopped does not mean that the need stops. The need is even greater. So because that money has stopped, we still have staff that we need to pay in order to provide those services, and we still need to provide the entitlements to the clients. Remember, people are coming over, they may have limited English, Some people have a lot of English, but they may not have a job yet. So you need that case management to help them do that. The first 90 days is the most intensive period. It is not the time that you want to stop services. Because if you don't provide those services within that 90 days, it's going to, it's a domino effect. We have programming to help people up to 5 years, but if you don't take care of those first 90 days, you're going to have a lag. And it's going to be a severe injustice to that family and the community because someone has to take care of them. So we have 52 individuals that we're still scrambling to take care of.
So what kind of financial support, well, let me back up. What kind of plans do you have in place to support these folks? How are you going to take care of them for those 90 days and beyond? What can we do from either a financial perspective, a time perspective, and an advocacy perspective?
I'll start. I have at Hanan, we have 3 asks. We've actually done a lot of campaigns, but obviously donating to support rental support, direct support, volunteering your time. We have, and Rini can attest, we have a lot of volunteers with us, but we unfortunately had to do some layoffs, so we are very shorthanded now. Volunteering, and also advocacy. We have a template to our elected officials about why this program is very important. Right now, our budget, unfortunately, we're almost $400,000 down from administrative money and also direct support for this particular program.
We're facing the same challenges as far as the deficit, as far as not being able to, we're going to provide the service, but it's going to be very difficult not being reimbursed. The most important thing that we're asking people to do is to volunteer and to also donate. Donate whatever you can. Every little bit helps. It's a total mitzvah to do that. I tell everyone, we were once seeking safety, right? And so it's welcoming the stranger is something that we do. And so I encourage everyone, I've got, both of us have flyers. The JSS flyer has a QR code that you can donate to. Follow us on social media. We're doing a lot of programs, a lot of advocacy. Also, contact your elected officials, as Sheila says. They have a template. We have a template too. Follow the highest website. They have launched a lawsuit, but it's been very fluid, very fast and furious. A judge came up with an injunction. What was it on? Was that Monday or was that Friday? And then contracts were canceled the next day. So, it's almost like a game of cat and mouse at this point. A lot of agencies are closing, and JSS has an 85-year history. We're trying to stay open to continue to run this program. If we don't, who's going to take care of these folks that we made a commitment to? So every little bit helps. Thank you very much. Also, we have projects that we collaborate on. Tables Across Borders project, where we feature refugee chefs. That was a project that I started in 2019 here. So I do it in Madison and here. And so it's a way for the community to explore the cuisine of whatever refugee chef is there, and the proceeds go to that chef. So that helps. That helps them with their businesses, and it helps them with building awareness about the positives. And I just want to tell you, $124 billion are made off of refugees and immigrants. Keep that figure in your head when people say that we're spending too much money on this community. They've done, the most conservative think tanks have done this research, the Department of Health and Human Services and the Cato Institute. Cato Institute's a very conservative institute, and they've proved how much money the US economy, how much we depend on that labor. So people from refugee and immigrant backgrounds tend to be entrepreneurial, tend to also employ other folks, and tend to quickly become self-sustaining. I know Sheila and I, we were working with different families, and I'll tell you a little story really quickly. There was a family of 13, single mom, disabled child. She had 2 adult kids in the family also. When I met them, they didn't have anything. All refugees have to pay their travel loans. meaning, and that's usually about 1,000 to 1,100 or so per person. So this family had 13 times $1,100 that they needed to pay. They paid off that loan in 18 months. I'm still paying student loans, right? So there's a lot to learn from that. So I just wanted, that's just an example of how quickly people become self-sufficient.
So we have some handouts there on the table out where you got your name tag, both from Hanan and from JSS of Madison. Are there any questions that folks have?
Is there any country that you won't accept a refugee from?
No. We receive our refugees from HIAS. They settle people all over the world who have refugee status. You have to have refugee status or special immigrant status.
Hang on.
If there's things that we want to donate, where would we bring it? For example, clothing, where would we bring it here or?
So we're currently not accepting clothing at this moment. We made that decision a few years back. We were just getting a huge amount of clothing. We do accept household supplies, but clothing we don't accept at this time.
So we are very fortunate. We are very fortunate that there are two different fundraising opportunities that we as congregants, as community members of the Jewish community. We have a refugee fund here at Congregation Emmanuel B'nai Yeshurun, and at the Jewish Community Foundation, we also have a refugee fund. And I am very pleased to be able to give both ladies checks totaling $1,500 that we are able to pull from those two funds. And I will tell you, we could use more money in those funds, because as you can tell, they really need help. I will also say, if any of you are interested in volunteering here in Milwaukee, let me know, and I can connect you with Sheila and her group. They need drivers to take individuals to ESL programs. I get emails or texts every day that there's somebody that needs to go to the hospital, or there's somebody that needs to go to the Social Security office, or there's somebody that needs to get enrolled in a school and needs they need drivers, basically, is what they really need. And I'm sure you're in Madison, you have the same.
We have the same. If you have relatives or friends in Madison, point them our way. Here in Milwaukee, volunteer for Hanan.
And if you have housing opportunities, and I have to thank the Grinkers for helping us out originally, way back when we had Afghan refugees coming, they were able to provide an apartment, 2 apartments at that time, I believe, which has been wonderful. Gary and I provide an apartment for our group. If you know of people that have opportunity, let us know, and I can be a conduit for both organizations. So, ladies, thank you so much.
Thank you. This means a lot. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. So in part, we ordered the service in this way, so we are up to our closing song, which means any questions you still have, our service is about to be finished, and you can continue these conversations right afterwards. So we're going to conclude our service with Biyado on page 625. Again, we have candlelighting and Kiddush in the Cardo afterwards. Please rise and remain standing for the benediction, and I'm going to get out of the way of the choir.
Biyado afkid ruchi be'et ishan ve'ayra beati. Adonai li velo ira. My soul I give to you, my spirit in your care. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Sail me in your hand. Draw me near, I shall not fear. Safely in your hand. Be'yado afidruchi, ve'tevishan ve'ayra, ve'imruchi geviati. Adonai li velo ira. Ve'imruchi geviati. Adonai li velo ira.
We learn in the book of Pirkei Avot, Lo alecha hamlecha ligmor, velo ata ben chorin lehibatel mimena. It is not your duty to complete the work, neither are you free to abandon it. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We're going to begin with the candles, and then we'll have candles on the Kiddush.
We mark the beginning of the sacred time Shabbat today in Christ. We pause and remind ourselves of the beauty of this world, of the loves that embrace us, of the blessings that fill us.
Everybody has some form of fruit of the vine? Oh, there's more. Wait.
Wait, smart.
May we be blessed with Shabbat joy.
Amen.
May we be blessed with Shabbat peace. May we be blessed with Shabbat light.
Amen.
Hopefully everybody has fruit of the vine. If not, we have 2 trays up here. I think there's people just coming on through. Can I hand you that to go that way? The light is grape juice, the dark is wine, as ever. Although Shabbat or Rosh Chodesh Adar would have been a good one to switch it up.
That's right.
6 days you will work and achieve, but the 7th day is dedicated to the Eternal One, your God. With the fruit of the vine, our sweet symbol of joy, we celebrate this sacred day. We give thanks for life and its blessings, for work and for rest, for the opportunity to gain and the privilege to give, for home and friendship and love.
וירא בבוקר יום השלישי, ויחולו השמיים והארץ, וכל סלם, ויחן אלוהים ביום השביעי, מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישבות ביום השביעי, מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי. ויקדש אותו, כי בו שמע מכל מלאכתו, כי בו שמע מכל מלאכתו, אשר ברא, אשר ברא, אשר ברא, אלוהים לעשות. לחיים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא בריאה. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher קידשנו במצוותיו ורצוננו, ושבת קודשו באהבה ורצון כתחילנו, זיכרון למעשה בראשית, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר יציאת מצרים. Ivanu v'chata, Yitzhanu gidasha, Mikol ha'amim, V'shabbat koshecha, V'yama u'ratzon, Hizekatanu, Baruch atah Adonai,
coming around in a moment. Have some table up here. Thank you, Barbara. There's a second basket coming around with Norm. Thank you, Rich, for bringing the bag back. So everybody's going to get some challah in a moment, hopefully.
We'll do a big ba together. Shabbat shalom, chodesh tov, have a wonderful Rosh Hashanah. Thanks, Shabbat.